If there's one industry known for spending loads of money, it's the rap music scene. Rappers have built a reputation for splashing out on lavish lifestyles. It's all about the drugs, girls, parties, and expensive jewelry. But all of that spending has created another well-known fact about rappers. They all eventually go broke. Well, almost all of them anyway. An elite few actually manage to maintain their wealth and even grow it. I know, it's pretty hard to believe. But how exactly did these rappers live that expensive rap lifestyle and still end up rich? We're going to investigate. In this video, we'll look at the rappers who didn't go broke and became super rich. Make sure you watch until the end for the most surprising names. Let's get into it. Number 26. T.I. 50 million. T.I. has been making a name for himself since 1999, sometimes going by his other name, T.I.P. He sure stands out in the rap game. He has 7 top 5 albums, including 3 number ones, more than 1 TV show with his name in the title, and several acting roles under his belt. He's even appeared in Marvel's Ant-Man, so you know he's a big deal. Like most rap artists, he's got an impressive collection of controversies under his belt. He's gotten into fights with more celebrities than you can count, plus he's faced sexual assault charges. And he's facing criticism for checking his daughter's virginity every year. None of this seems to have harmed his bank account though. He still has a net worth of 50 million. Number 25. Chamillionaire, 50 million. Chamillionaire, who sometimes goes by the name Mixtape Messiah, is a Grammy-nominated rapper and businessman, but you probably know him as one of the founding members of the Color Changing Clique. Sure, he could have made enough cash off his music career alone, but he decided to also open up a tour bus company, which looks like it's pretty successful. His net worth is currently estimated to be around 50 million, but he does seem to spend a lot of that money on custom cars. Number 24. Wiz Khalifa, 60 million. Wiz Khalifa needs no introduction. He's been a household name since he released his single Black and Yellow. He's still pretty young, at only 33 years old. Still, he sure cemented his fame in business. Not just with his own hugely successful singles. He's also worked with some of the biggest stars in the business, like Miley Cyrus and the legend that is Snoop Dogg. It doesn't look like he's had a side hustle, so his 60 million was earned through rapping alone. Number 23. J. Cole, 60 million. J. Cole spent his early career under Jay-Z's record label, releasing mixtapes that received some impressive critical acclaim. He's now widely considered one of the most influential rappers of his generation, but he hasn't stopped working. Even though he's still rapping, he also opened up his own record label called Dreamville Records, which definitely brings in even more cash. It looks like he's using his 60 million to do good deeds too. He actually turned his childhood home in North Carolina into free housing for single mothers. Number 22. Rev Run, 60 million. Even people who don't know about Rev Run will have heard of Run DMC. They're one of the most influential rap groups of all time, but you can bet he didn't think that's enough. Despite all the success that Run DMC has had, Rev Run has loads of other side hustles. He's also a producer and DJ, and he has more than his fair share of TV shows with his name in the title. Plus, if you're thinking the Rev part of his name is a lie, it's totally not. He is actually a practicing minister, going by the name Reverend Run. I don't know how much money that gets you, but he's got a net worth of roughly 60 million today with all that work. Number 21. Nas, 70 million. Nas has a career that's glided in platinum. Of course, I'm talking about his incredible success in the rap game, with 8 platinum or multi-platinum albums in the US. But as far as money is concerned, there was a time where the only platinum he had was his record sales. He did actually go totally broke at one point in his career. He sure bounced back though. He's furthered his success in the rap game, and he's also well known as a businessman and investor. Combine the cash from his illustrious rap career with his record label, Fila Sneaker Store, and Mass Appeal magazine, and these days, he's worth roughly 70 million. Now that's what I call a comeback. Number 20. will.i.am, 75 million. After all the fame and success that the hip-hop group Black Eyed Peas gave him, will.i.am probably could have quit and still had enough money to live the rest of his life in style. But he sure didn't stop there. He's had a super successful solo career, but he's also been having a great time as a record producer. He's worked with some of the biggest names in the business, including Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Justin Timberlake, Rihanna, Usher, Britney Spears. Basically, it's too many big names for one video. All this work is added up to a $75 million bank account. Number 19. Kendrick Lamar, 75 million. Kendrick Lamar shot to fame almost in the blink of an eye. He's now one of the most influential rappers of our time, even though he hasn't been in business very long. I guess that's what happens when you start at the age of 16. His laser focus on writing and performing music saw him crowned new king of the West Coast by The Game, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg back in 2011. These days, his career is only getting bigger, so you can bet that the $75 million he has will keep growing. Number 18. Akon, $80 million. Senegalese-American rapper Akon has made a big name for himself in rap and business. He owns more than one big business, including his own clothing brand called Convict and his Con Live record label. You probably also saw him in his Pepsi soccer ad campaign. He also opened Akon Lightning Africa, which was originally designed as an ambitious charity to bring solar electricity to poor countries in Africa. He's since turned it into a for-profit business in the hopes of offering good jobs to people who need them. I guess he deserves that $80 million bank account. There's some pretty big names on this list already. Have we named your favorite yet? Let us know in the comments. Number 17. Timbaland, $85 million. It's hard to pinpoint what Timbaland is most famous for. He's seen major success as a rapper, a singer, a songwriter, and a record producer. He is pretty influential in all those industries, but he does seem to have almost supernatural powers for crafting hits in all areas of music. In the rap game, he's produced hits for some of the biggest stars, including Jay-Z, Ludacris, and Snoop Dogg. But he's since branched out into other genres with the same level of success, creating hits for Justin Timberlake, Beck, and Madonna. That explains the $85 million bank balance. Number 16. Nicki Minaj, $85 million. This list just goes to show that rap is dominated by male artists, but Trinidad-born Nicki Minaj hasn't let that get in her way. She's cemented herself as one of the biggest names in the business, and she's got more smash hits under her belt than most artists of any genre. Her music career has seen her collaborate with some huge names like Lil Wayne, Drake, Tyga, Chris Brown, Rihanna, and Madonna. Plus, she still finds the time to have a pretty successful modeling career. This is all added up to an $85 million net worth. Number 15. Pitbull, $100 million. Pitbull only broke onto the scene in 2004, but it didn't matter that this Latin star was a little slow to start. He instantly became one of the biggest names in the business, and he's topped the charts in over 20 countries with more than one huge hit. He learned to speak English by watching Sesame Street, but that doesn't seem to have held him back as a songwriter. He hasn't stopped at rapping though. He now also has his own vodka line, which sounds like something every rapper should have. He's currently in the top 15 richest rappers globally, with a staggering $100 million net worth. Number 14. Birdman, $100 million. Birdman can afford to be a pretty flashy performer. Of course, he's best known for his rap career, but he's done a lot more than that. He's also a record producer, entrepreneur, executive producer, and investor. That's a lot of job titles for one person to keep up with, but he doesn't seem to have any problems. All that work does explain why he currently boasts a $100 million net worth. Number 13. LL Cool J, $120 million. LL Cool J is just as well known as an actor as a rapper. Not many people see this kind of success in two different careers, but he seemed right at home with both. But he's not only a star of NCIS Los Angeles and one of the founding fathers of pop rap, he's also a successful author, record producer, and entrepreneur with his own clothing line. Bet you didn't know that. Sure, it's a pretty varied portfolio, but it added up to a very nice $120 million. Number 12. Swizz Beatz, $150 million. Swizz Beatz looks like a man with many interests. We know him for his work in the music industry as a rapper, DJ, and record producer. But he's used that success well and grew his money with a series of clever investments, which look like the key to not going broke in the rap business. He saw such a huge success from his Reebok collections that he's now vice president of the company. He's also a passionate art collector, which some say is a great way to invest your money. It sure worked for him. His net worth is now $150 million. Number 11. Lil Wayne, $150 million. Lil Wayne has a pretty unique career. In 1991, he joined Cash Money Records at just 9 years old. It's not surprising he was the youngest member of the label, but it is surprising that he had so much talent at such a young age. He hasn't slowed down since, and he's still one of the biggest names in the business, which explains why the other big names seem to enjoy collaborating with him. His long career has earned him $150 million so far. If you think we've mentioned all the big names already, you're wrong. The rappers still coming up are real legends. Keep your eyes open for the huge sum of money at number 1. Number 10. Snoop Dogg, 150 million. Snoop Dogg is a man of many names, but all his name changes just proves how famous he is. It doesn't matter what he's called, his fans will find him. He was discovered by Dr. Dre back in 1992, and we're all pretty grateful for that. With 35 million album sales worldwide and a collection of merch based around weed, he sure is a fan favorite in the rap game. His image is all down to how much money he spends, so it's a huge surprise that he's maintained a net worth of $150 million. I guess we just can't resist giving him all our cash. Number 9. Ice Cube, 160 million. Ice Cube is one of those people with talent to burn. Thanks to his success as a songwriter and rapper, the whole world is familiar with him after he made a name for himself with CIA and the NWA. Nobody could forget the legendary album Straight Outta Compton, but he's also starred in some of the most famous films in the last few decades, including modern classics Boys in the Hood, both 21 and 22 Jump Street, and Ride Along. You'd think that would be enough, but he's also a record producer and filmmaker. He seems to be pretty successful no matter what career he chooses, which is why he's now worth $160 million. Number 8. Drake, 180 million. Did you know that Canadian rap star Drake started his career as an actor? He started in the teen drama series Degrassi, The Next Generation, before changing his focus to rap. He still finds time for acting sometimes, but he's mainly known as a songwriter, rapper, and record producer these days. And he has more record awards than you'd believe. All the success has really translated to a serious bank balance, currently $180 million. Number 7. Pharrell Williams, 200 million. Pharrell Williams is one of the biggest names in the business, but he's another rapper who's found success in more than one field. He has his own record label, but he's also a successful film producer. And let's not forget he wrote the scores for the first 2 Despicable Me films, which would be enough fame for some people. He also owns a multimedia collective called I Am Other that creates music, fashion, entertainment, and art. All his creations have grown his net worth to $200 million. Number 6. Master P, 200 million. Master P has a list of business titles that could hit the floor. He was once a basketball player, but now he's known as a rapper, actor, entrepreneur, author, and record producer. And that's all excluding his philanthropy work. You've got to wonder how he finds the time to keep it all going. He sure doesn't look like one of those rappers who would go broke anytime soon. He's currently worth $200 million. Number 5. Eminem, 230 million. Eminem is the most successful white rapper of all time, but he wasn't always that popular. He started out battling rap in Detroit, but it didn't go as well as he'd hoped. He got a lot of racial abuse thrown at him during these battles. He spoke openly about being bullied at school too, but it seems like the hardships he faced when he was young contributed to the artistry in his writing. You can bet all those people who bullied him regret it now, because he's filthy rich these days, with a $230 million net worth. Number 4. Dr. Dre, 780 million. Dr. Dre is another hugely successful rapper and record producer who made a name for himself with NWA. After that, he went solo and became one of the most successful record producers of all time. But that's not his only crazy successful venture. His famous brand Beats by Dre is hugely popular. It's so popular, in fact, that it was sold to Apple a few years ago for the unbelievable sum of $3 billion. That for sure contributed to his staggering $780 million net worth. Number 3. Sean Combs, 900 million. You might know Sean Combs a little better by the names Diddy and Puff Daddy. He had a pretty hard childhood. He grew up in New York, where his dad was murdered when he was just 3 years old. But his life is pretty different now. He left college to intern at a record company and amazingly leveled up to vice president within a year. These days, he's one of the most famous people alive. With his kind of fame, we could all guess he's also hugely successful. And for a long time, he was actually the richest rapper in the world. That was before other rappers started seeing success with business ventures instead of just rapping. Still, Combs is one of the busiest men in the industry, juggling rapping, record producing, acting, songwriting, and a successful career as an entrepreneur. He's currently worth $900 million. That's just short of $1 billion. Number 2. Jay-Z, $1.3 billion. Jay-Z is the first rapper in history to cross the $1 billion mark. Even though he's had a huge career as a rapper, he made more of his money out of clever investments. He wasn't always living the good life though. He spent his childhood in a notoriously dangerous area of Brooklyn. and had more than his fair share of experiences with drug dealing. But he hit the big time in 1996 when his debut album became a hit that sold over 1 million copies. Today, he's got his hands in so many cookie jars that there are all kinds of businesses that rappers love. He's got record labels, clothing brands, nightclubs, and more. He's now worth an incredible $1.3 billion. That's pretty far beyond $1 billion. And for a while, he was the richest rapper in the world until the person in our top spot overtook him. I bet you're dying to know what's at number 1. So here it is. Number 1, Kanye West, 6.6 to 10 billion. Kanye West is easily one of the most famous people on earth. Some rappers reach star-level fame and still go broke, but Kanye is doing the opposite. He's still heavily involved in the music business as a rapper, songwriter, and record producer. But his entrepreneurial and fashion design work has bulked up his bank account big time since Yeezy became a household name of its own. And if you're thinking he can't be that much richer than Jay-Z, you're wrong. Kanye is pretty serious about making sure the world knows exactly how much he's worth, and he goes to great lengths to prove his wealth, maybe a little more than he should. He recently claimed his net worth has reached $10 billion. We can't confirm that, but Forbes has documents proving that Kanye's current net worth is at least $6.6 billion, something that he has struggled over the years, since he claims that Forbes always falls short on his actual net worth. Anyways, whatever the real amount is, the amount of wealth is something that only Kanye could pull off.